Good evening, good evening. Tonight we discuss a very rough Memphis game that just took place a few minutes ago and a near disaster against Northeastern just last Saturday. We have some more portal news, a new commitment on the offensive line, a recruit that flipped to UVA, and of course our NFL picks. But first, we have a lot to talk about the whole fantasy football situation. So I'm gonna open the floor to my man Jay Ballard over here in the top left. And Jay, you want to explain anything that happened this weekend?
So where we left off was I was playing both you guys, and Jack, you're in the B League as we call it. So I'm gonna get through that one first and foremost because that one is simple. I think when we kicked off with the lineups we had set, it was like a 28. I was like a 28-point favorite. Um, yeah, I think you were
Underdog.
6, 7, and 1 going in. I was 9, 4, and 1. I think that sounds right.
Yep.
And it wasn't even competitive. Got killed. Nothing to really say other than the team just did not show up at all, which is a lot of the fantasy players this weekend didn't show up, big names. And so going to the main league, where I was playing, your dad, um, man. I was telling people today, I don't think I've ever had a worse loss in 15 years of the league when and we could both do this, right? I mean, we could both sit and say like he has Bijan Robinson who did not score a single point, and you could say, well, if he scores 5 points, it's an easy win or whatever. Um, and I get that, but when you look at like what actually happened for me to lose that game, so let me set the standard the scenario. He has AJ Brown. I have the Eagles head coach who in our league scores 5 points for the win. I'm ahead by 9, so if the Eagles win, I have 14. I hold the tiebreaker, so he needs 15 out of AJ Brown. It's a full point PPR. Going into the fourth quarter, I think Brown was at 8. Eagles were looking like they were in a good spot to win. He gets that catch for 10, puts him at I think 5 for 56. He takes the lead on me by 1. Again, Eagles still in a good spot there. Clock's ticking down, ticking down, ticking down. They're one first down away from running out the clock and the game being over. And in my mind, I'm still thinking I'm losing this game somehow. They don't get the first down. They punt, and then I thought for the first time, okay, there's no way Drew Lock is going to go down the field in less than 2 minutes and take him to a victory. And of course, we all saw how that game went, and so I lose by 1. But then you look at it a little bit closer,
Oh,
and there's a few things that just make you sick. Justin Fields is a 2 quarterback league. Was my second quarterback. Justin Fields throws first time since 2003 that a quarterback has thrown a Hail Mary interception on the last play of both halves. The interception to end the first half was not an interception. It was not reviewed for some unknown reason. It's a very simple stat change. I'm calling on you right now. NFL, do the right thing. Correct the stat. Give me my 2 points. And if that happens, I win the game. I win the game. It's a very simple stat correction. It affects nothing. The half was over. All turnovers are reviewed. I don't know why that one was not reviewed. It was clear and obvious. So I'm hopeful that a stat correction will come very soon. If it doesn't, even looking at it again, Harrison Butker hadn't missed a less than 40-yard field goal since 2020, and he did on Sunday. Even worse than that, Kansas City, with a minute to go, has a 4th and goal from the 7, up 10. Now, what coach doesn't want to be up where 2 touchdowns is what it takes to beat you under a minute? It made no sense. They take a knee up 10 and instead of kicking the 30-yard field goal or 25-yard field goal. Any of those things happen and I win. So it was a devastating loss. I'm fully 100% rooting for Jeff to win the championship. And Jack, I'll pull for you too, bud. I'm pulling for y'all. Jeff, I want you to win it,
we're the Ballard
but I'm sick to
Killers.
my stomach.
What do you got to say, Dad, about that?
Well, a couple things.
So you got some stuff about CD
We
Lamb,
watched
or
the ODU game, ODU bowl game, and I watched the ODU kicker get their kick blocked on what was it, a 20-yard field goal there at the end. So Um, the Chiefs want to play it safe, take that safe knee. And what are the odds of a team going down and scoring 10 points, especially having to start from their own 10-yard line? Of course, the Seahawks, I'll say this, in the game last night, when once the clock was running down and the Eagles punted and the Seahawks had to go 90 yards in a minute and change, I was like, well, I thought it was done. I even sent Jay the congratulatory text message. And for them to score, it was amazing. I don't know what the Eagles were doing. How did they let that receiver get behind the defense like that? And not only did that happen once, that happened earlier in the drive with DK Metcalf, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
Had a lot of steps. He just overthrew him.
Yep.
So, as far as the Bears and Browns, I'll tell you, and I didn't see the game. I've looked at replays. I haven't seen where there's undisputable evidence that the ball wasn't caught in the end zone.
There's images out there.
I've been looking.
Photoshop's a thing.
And Photoshop is a thing.
I was watching the Red Zone broadcast. I saw the. I mean, it looked pretty clear to me, but that's only one angle at one time live. So,
Well, I didn't get to see all the angles the game would show.
What about the Cowboys game, Dad? You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so then the Cowboy game, for the Seahawks to go down and score like that was deserved. As we looked at the Cowboy game, and it looked like they're going to commercial break with just a few minutes to go, and Cooper Rush was putting his helmet on to come in the game. And instead, they come back, and Dak gets a lot of cheap stuff.
And Dak Prescott's on Jason.
Part of the game, and that's how you win. It's getting some of that. If you can find a team that's going to be down a lot, and get you quarterback points, and then Ferguson's catching the balls, and then we do that end around to CeeDee Lamb, which I'm glad it was that and not
should have been a push pass, and this wouldn't be a conversation.
And so I was concerned about that, but I thought the game was over. Our fantasy game was over, and then when we went to commercial and Cooper Rush was putting the helmet on, our game would have been over right then.
Yeah, oh yeah,
that
for sure.
Came back out. I was like, wow, I might end up losing this game now.
Yeah.
And so there could be a stat correction. I don't know. If it happens, it happens. But that's where we're at right now. As of right now, I'm setting a lineup, and the league shows me playing Derek in round 2.
Yeah, I've got my waivers set as if I'm playing for the semis.
Well, as do I. As do I. So,
yeah.
I really do not expect a stat change. However, it would be a very simple stat change. I'm just saying it would be.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's about all I got on it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, both our teams really sucked.
Oh, we were terrible. If we played any other team in the league, we get destroyed.
Every team would beat us this week, and I don't know how that happened. And I guess that means in the advanced situation, possibly whoever is advancing, hopefully it's me, will have a big week this coming week. But
yeah,
who knows? So you got Trevor Lawrence, who is in concussion protocol. Sam Howell got benched in the fourth quarter. So I don't even know who my quarterbacks will be this week. So
yeah, I know who mine will be. So I feel good if I get there.
And then I got Howell going against the Jets, which I don't intend to start him. I want to start Lawrence, but Lawrence is in concussion protocol. And he's playing the Panthers.
I knew this week, meaning our week, was going to be the tough week. If I could get past this week and have any kind of decent point total, my matchups going forward are great. Yeah. I'd love to see if I could take out Derek and then hopefully RP2. But
so your RP2 is going to beat Jason is the official prediction here.
No prediction on that. I'm saying I hope. I want him to advance if I get to. I want him. I want to play him. That's what I want.
I know you do.
And I will say also really quick, a few weeks ago, I sent out a message saying I was coming for 2.0, and y'all were saying, "Oh, how's that going to happen if you don't even?" Well, guess what? Made the playoffs, beat Jay Ballard, and guess who's next on the list? 2.0. I'm ready for you, man. All right. Well,
we know he's listening out there too.
Yeah, we know he's listening. We know you're listening. We appreciate you being a loyal listener. But moving on, we have some basketball to discuss, and I don't even know if Northeastern basketball game even gets discussed. It kind of gets overshadowed a little bit by tonight's performance. I mean, really, both performances were absolute pathetic. Just coming off that exam break seems to be a problem every single year, and it just makes no sense. So, I mean, what do we want to start? Do we want to go to Northeastern, Jay?
There's a few things we can kind of cross between the two. I guess we should probably focus more on Memphis since that's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there were. To me, it looked like Memphis was honestly just a better team, but I really liked that Memphis team, how they played. They were very physical, very athletically gifted. They shot the ball well. They sped us up, which is very difficult to speed up a Tony Bennett team. I thought some of our kids were exposed a little bit. We've seen Rhodey turn the ball over against lesser competition, and it was like turnover on steroids against the more elite athletes that Memphis has. So that being said, he wasn't alone. Gertrude looked overmatched tonight, in my opinion. Not athletically, but just he looked like a first-year player, playing on the road for the first time. Very undisciplined on both ends of the court really everybody. Reese was solid again. We don't win the Northeastern game without Reese.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, you don't want to overreact because it's the first road game and true road game. Memphis is a good team, but they've had some games where they make you shake their head. I think they beat VCU in overtime, and this is not this is not one of the years where VCU is like a threat to make a deep run. I think they lost to Michigan, who is a little bit down from years past. They don't have Dickinson anymore. So, I think we caught them on the wrong night, to be honest. It's just one of those nights that happens. Thank God we won the Northeastern game.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, and when you when McNeely doesn't make shots, it's going to be really difficult for us to win games, and that showed even against Northeastern. He's got to play well. Reese carried us, but yeah, Jeff, what you got?
Yeah, Reese definitely carried us in the Northeastern game. We need that Reese all the time who says, I'm going to put my foot down and I'm going to make sure we win this game. That was just a situation you just win the game. Try to find a way to win the game. Coming off that exam break, we're one of a few schools that actually does that. And so we actually do have a little education involved in UVA. But we always struggle, it seems like, when that break happens. The team was rolling. Then tonight, it was just tough. I thought Memphis reminded me of some of those good Florida State teams who out-physicaled us. I mean, they just out-physicaled us. It even reminded me of when, back in the Jeff Jones days when you play a Duke team who locks you up on defense, and we're in panic all the time. They got us out of our game. It's very un-Tony Bennett-like. Tony Bennett team's type of a performance. They sped us up big time. We took some bad shots. McNeely, 0 for 5 from 3, 18 turnovers. Gertrude, I thought he brings a lot of energy on the floor, but tonight he looked like a freshman. He looked like he was playing in front of a decent crowd for the first time and on a road game against a good opponent. And that's how you get better. You got to play teams like that and get that experience against on the road as a freshman. He's a true freshman. So I thought in the Northeastern game, he's the guy who, coming off that bench, who brought that energy. Rhodey, I mean, we just need somebody to make some shots. McNeely couldn't make a shot. Rhodey, you're out there. You got to be. We need you to. You're supposed to be a 3-point shooter. We need you to make shots. If Dunn could make a 15-foot jump shot, they treat him like he's Ben Simmons. I mean,
Yep.
they play defense 5-6 feet back on him, so he can't get to the basket to get a dunk. So everything he's getting are cuts to the basket.
Yep.
And he just didn't seem right in the Northeastern game. I don't know what's going on with him, but just too many turnovers. You just chalk it up a bad night, and hopefully this experience will grow from this. You know, Tony Bennett, as we say, in Tony Bennett we trust, and hopefully we'll get the troops ready. We got Morgan State on next Wednesday night after Christmas, and I mean, there's no better game to get right than Morgan State,
Yeah,
but
really.
you know, we better come to
Are
play.
we going to make an announcement about that game for the pod?
What about it?
I mean,
I mean,
we
What announcement you
we got to tease. I mean,
tease
Well,
what?
well, I'm going to be at the game.
We're.
Are you gonna be there?
You're going to be at the game.
We will be attending.
Well,
Yes.
I've got my media passes for me and Jack. Do you have
Yeah.
media pass?
It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
It's in the
Hopefully
mail.
it arrives Christmas morning.
USPS, though. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be at that game. So exciting times. Hopefully we can come out and just put on a nice show, a relaxing performance, no stress.
Maybe
Don't add
Rhodey
any
can actually
grades.
score.
And
He
hopefully we
hasn't
score.
scored in 2 games.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
I mean, bagels. I'm not talking a bad game. I'm talking bagels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a straight struggle to score tonight. And some of the times we got to the foul line a few times on balls that were potentially questionable calls. It's just a scramble. You know, we're out of control and we just get bailed out by a foul call.
Yep.
But as I said earlier, in the earlier podcast, I'm not going to overreact to wins or losses. We're going to just let it all play out and see where the chips fall.
Yeah. If you had a guess right now, what seed would you say, or are we in the tournament 1? And if so, what seed? What would you say?
I think we'd be now. I think we are a 9 or a 10. I think they had us at like today. You know, Lenardi.
Right, I'm not talking about Lenardi. I'm talking about Jeff Lowe. What's Jeff Lowe?
What seed are we? Okay.
Yeah.
I think about it when it's all said and done. I think we're going to be a 6 or 7.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, I'd put us more in that 8, 9, 10 range just because athletically we're too small and not athletic enough. Nobody's going to want to play us. You know,
Right.
Should we win that first game and we play a 2 or 3 or something, you know, we'll scare them.
The thing
But-
that hurts is we're just a perimeter-oriented offense. There's just nobody inside who can get us an easy bucket. You know, who can post up and
Yeah.
just back to the basket, get you a couple baskets when you need it, and that way
Right.
you can spread the floor and kick it back out. And Beaton's
Right.
got his hands full. He
Oh,
got his
yeah.
hands full. I mean, they were throwing the double team at him as soon as he's
He
crossing
got
the
picked
floor.
from behind a few times because he'd go into the lane and clearly they had scouted that little spin move back
Oh yeah,
and they just picked him from behind.
right.
Yeah. I like what you said, Jay, about Isaac Bedelia. If y'all remember that stretch of West Virginia and that loss we had before that, Isaac Bedelia was not 100%. We saw what this team was without him, and offensively, it's just rough without him. So we saw that Syracuse game. He got hot right to start. I think that's a really key factor. Having him at 100%, having him make his shots offensively, that is so huge for us. So that's rough. Northeastern missed a lot of shots tonight, missing a lot of shots. I do like, though, we never really talked about him. I like what Groves showed to the table. Groves had a nice night.
Yeah.
Helped us
I
get
agree.
things going a little bit. But it's just, it takes more than one player to get things going offensively. So that's just rough.
Yeah.
But that Morgan State game, I think, can prove to be huge next week. I think they need a great performance, like my dad said, a relaxing performance, something to get them back on track for
Not
the
relaxing.
ACC schedule.
Relaxing for
For
us.
us,
Not
yes,
for
for us. Yes, but get us back onto that ACC schedule. For my seeding, I think I'd be a little more generous than y'all. I think I could see them putting us around that 4 and 5 range. However, I do not want a 5 seed if it's the last thing we get. I would take a 16 seed, I feel like, before we get a 5 seed, because it's just proven that the 5 seeds lose every single year, no matter who they play.
Well,
So,
I'll tell you, unfortunately,
Yeah,
Virginia basketball has proven they lose in the first round a lot of years, and it don't
Yeah.
matter if they're 1 seed all the way down. So
yeah.
Yep.
But if it comes down to it, would I rather a 4 or a 6 over 5? Yes, I would, based on history. So,
Based on history, Purdue wins the national championship this year.
yes,
Yeah,
based on
there you
history,
go.
Purdue does win the national championship this year, and it kind of makes me want to root for them too. You know,
Yeah.
I
Well,
like
we don't
seeing their
get
little
there
comeback
without that
story.
crazy win against them.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, no, I respect what Purdue's doing
With
over
Jeff's
there.
favorite player of all time, Kihei Clark, with the big assists. in that
Then my guy's Diakite.
game.
Oh man.
Yes, sir. All right, well, I think that's about it for basketball. Moving on to football, 2 big pickups in the portal with an offensive lineman, Drake Metcalf, not to be confused with DK Metcalf, out of UCF, and the corner from Penn, Kendron Smith. Jay, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I like both those guys based on, just what I read and the few little clips that I saw. Especially Kendron Smith, the corner out of Penn. He was 2-time All Conference. Position of need, coming in with, I believe he just has 1 year of eligibility left to, play some big time football before he goes out. So it was a really good get, good position of need. Drake Metcalf, again, he played center. When he came in, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, it really wasn't much of a news breaking story, but we had one transfer out, Snoop. And I don't want to get his last name wrong, but he left the program. He was an offensive lineman, so I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall when Metcalf came in. He's gotten some snaps, for in some big time games. And so, coming into Virginia, he should be a contributor right away. Our offensive line, as when we talked to McHale, they really came along, so keeping that unit together,
Bonded together, yeah.
really, yeah, I mean, they played really well towards the end of the year, minus the Virginia Tech game, but, getting that, I mean, you're talking about a whole nother 9 months in the weight room, a whole nother 9 months of just playing together, being together. So I like what the offensive line is looking like. I really like the offense in general. So if Rudd can get the defense to play well for longer spurts, because they played well in short spurts this year, they just couldn't sustain it. So I like where we're going with the guys that we got. Jeff?
Yeah, if you had told me 2 years ago I was going to compliment the offense, I would have said you're crazy. But it's amazing in that 1 year, the offense. I mean, the improvement this year from actually, even the first few games of the season was like, oh Lord, here we go again, to the back end when we started being able to run the football. We were moving the ball. Unfortunately, the Tech game didn't work out, but the games we lost, we moved the ball. We just it just one thing or another, it cost us the game. The Metcalf pickup, he started at Stanford, I believe, and then went to UCF. And so our line coach was his coach at Stanford. So, a little familiarity there. And then, as you said, Smith was all Ivy League selection. So, we get these recruits in 3-star, 4-star, 2-star. You just don't really know what you got until you see them take the field for us. I get excited about guys we get in, and I mean we follow UVA, so we see UVA pick up a recruit or a transfer, and you get excited. We got to see what they're going to do on the field. So
yeah, unfortunately, our rivals picked up a Conference USA All Conference or second team All Conference linebacker, I think, today, and they picked up a D lineman from Duke. So we're not just picking up guys and everybody else is sitting still. That's what you got to remember too.
No, we're following UVA everywhere on
Yeah.
all the social media, so that's what we're going to see. I see some Virginia Tech stuff because of the people I follow, but all these teams are doing this. So until we see what they're going to do on the field for us, and I really need to see what they're going to do against Virginia Tech. I mean, for me, I just need to see some kind of an improvement there. I want to be competitive year in and year out against Virginia Tech, and until that, we just hope and pray. I don't know.
Yeah, on the Virginia Tech thing, I've seen a lot of stuff going for Virginia Tech, and I've heard that they're rallying around Brent Pry a lot over there. So not just we're improving, Virginia Tech is getting a lot of stuff too. So we've got to be able to keep up with them, and it's just going to be a mess if we can't.
But I will say this: I mean, we need to keep up with them and not play against the Jersey. Virginia Tech hasn't been much to keep up with as far as a whole. I mean, their program. I mean, 6-6 this year. It was nothing special. And I mean, that's coming from a team that finished. We were 4-8 or
3-9, something like that.
3-9, and I'm not. I mean, it's been rough.
All right, moving on to actual recruits out of high school, not just transfers. We got a commitment from John Adair. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The 3-star offensive lineman out of Tennessee. He also had offers from a lot of other big Power 5 schools, like Virginia Tech, our rival we were just talking about. Cincinnati, Duke, and also today UVA flipped Cameron Courtney, 3-star receiver, that was going to Indiana, but he was to play closer to his family is what we've been hearing. So we got thoughts on that, guys?
I know Courtney, he just played in the state title game at UVA just a few weeks ago. Or was it Freedom?
Freedom.
Against,
yeah, I saw him play. I saw him play last year against Western Branch. Actually, I was there.
And he had a. There's your Western Branch plug, but and I know he had a big game in the state title game, and he was number 84 in the nation recruit and number 20 in the state of Virginia. And I think they're going to use him as a wide receiver. He's an athlete, so I know he played corner, I believe, at Freedom, and. But I guess our wide receiver coach was the one recruiting him. So that's where it looks like he's
I'd be interested. I'd be interested to hear. Was it? Because Indiana's got a new coach. The JMU coach left. Signetti, I think is his name.
Yeah.
And is there now. I'd be interested to know if he was. I would assume he was offered a spot, and wasn't told, to reopen his commitment. You get new coaches come in, you don't know what they're going to say. We're grateful to have him. I think he's, obviously he's a great athlete. And I noticed on his Twitter account that I think he was like a 3.97 or 3.7 GPA, so smart kid.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a 3.940.
Only if he can punt the ball 80 yards, Jeff. But no. So yeah, hopefully these guys are. When you see that they're getting offers from the Virginia Techs and the Cincinnati's and Dukes, this guy was going to Indiana. You hope that you're getting the level of athletes that you need. So I think we're in a good place there with him.
One thing I will say, I don't know if this is about about Courtney, but about an hour ago on Twitter, I don't know if you guys saw, Anthony Calandria posted a GIF saying we got him. Now I don't know if that's referring to Courtney or another potential recruit or transfer that he may be spoiling, like he did a few weeks ago. So that could be interesting.
Signing day is actually tomorrow, right?
It's tomorrow. Yeah. So
so
I'm excited. I saw that too. That he said that. I was wondering
because maybe it's something I missed or it's something interesting. Maybe it'll be something interesting.
I was swiping Twitter hard.
Me too. Yeah. So that could be something to look out for. All right, and to close us out here, we go with always our NFL picks. Jay, you want to give the rundown as always?
Sure thing, Jack. So last week was not a good week for the pod. We went 2-7 on our 9 picks. I went 1-2. My only win coming in the Rams minus 6.5 or 7 or whatever I had them at. Jeff went 1-2. if he'd have stayed with San Francisco, did they end up covering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff. You
All
switched it
because
up.
Mikhail
of
got me.
all because of
Mikhail
Mikhail
got
Boley.
you. Thanks a lot, Mikhail, if you're listening. Appreciate you. Um, but yeah, so Jeff went 1-2. Jack, I'm sorry.
Man, it's been a
Um,
rough year
but
altogether.
but look, here's the deal. You're consistent. So if you can be consistently bad, we just play whatever you say, the opposite, and people can make a lot of money off of you. I mean, that's a good thing.
This is a Seinfeld episode. The
Yeah.
opposite. I'm George, and I'm gonna start playing the opposite of Jack. And I'm
Well,
gonna
we
get
have an
rich.
opposite. We've got a couple of opposites today, not
Yeah.
all of us.
We do.
So this will be interesting to hear. Um, so we're 9-9 at this time as a pod. So that's still not bad.
No.
For entertainment purposes only, you're not losing a whole lot of money if you bet every single one of them. So, Jack, why don't you give us your first one?
All right, so if you want to go after me with the opposite pick, I'm gonna start off with that one. I'm
Sure.
going to the Bills Chargers game, which is the opposite of Jay. I have the Chargers plus 11.5. I think it changed to 11.5 since you made your pick, Jay. But I think maybe the new interim coach will show some life for the Chargers. I still don't think they're a bad football team. I think they were just poorly coached. Uh, we got some reactions in the top left corner. I think they can win football games. They have the talent there. They haven't had a coaching all year. They just haven't gelled together all year. But I think they can keep it within 11 points.
Jack, so I'll go with my first pick, and like you kind of spoiled there a little bit. I'm going with the Bills. I got it at 10.5 earlier today. I like to see that it's now 11.5 because that means the people with money agree with me. Line movement, for those that don't follow a whole lot, line movement, Jack, and I don't even know if you know this, line movement means that money has come in on one side or the other. So when it moves up, so from 10.5 to 11.5, it means a lot of money, a substantial amount anyway, has come in and made them raise the number from 10.5 to 11.5. So that's just a little lesson on that
Yeah.
for you and for anybody out there who might not know. But anyway, so the Bills have finally started to play like the team that I think everybody thought they were. And they didn't necessarily do it the way that people would expect. Josh Allen didn't have a really huge game, but they finally turned the game. They turned it over to Cook, and he dominated the Cowboys. So this is a theme of two of my three bets. You have teams going in opposite directions. The Bills are ascending, and the Chargers are descending. They have nothing to play for. They're playing Easton Stick at quarterback. Keenan Allen more than likely won't play. I just don't see any way that the Bills don't just really put a hurting on them and win by 3+ touchdowns. But that's why they play the game. So I'll take the Bills minus 10.5.
Where's that game at?
That's in LA.
I had thought about that game myself, and I was thinking Bills myself. I just got a little nervous. 10.5 is a lot of points.
It's a bigger number than I like to
That's
take.
what made me.
And
that's
in
what did it for me.
LA, which is no home field.
I was
for the
gonna say.
Chargers,
I mean,
but,
it's really no home field.
But Buffalo traveled from the East Coast. But I mean, the Chargers, they're just terrible. I mean, Austin Eckler, he's defending that they shouldn't fire the coach. They're just so that means he's not happy with what's going on, what the decisions that were made.
The Raiders went from 0 points to 63 points.
Correct.
Come on.
Right. That coach had to go. And I just think the Chargers are just a dumpster fire, actually. But, I mean, it's just a lot of points. So that one scared me. But
I just got that feeling.
If I was betting it, I'd bet Buffalo. But it had me just a hair nervous.
Jack, I'm glad you got that feeling because your feeling's been perfect for me to win.
Hey, a few weeks ago, I had that feeling about the one game you completely disagreed about. I got it. So,
And in fact, now that I know that's Jack's pick, I think I'm gonna go lay some money down real quick. And I don't know, it's 11.5 now. It keeps growing. I better do it quick, or it gets to 15 or 16.
Hey, maybe it hits that sweet spot of 11.
Right. Another thing you can do is you can do an adjustment of your game line when you're actually in there betting, but that's not what we're here to do tonight. My first pick, I took Cardinals and Bears under 44.5. Two bad teams. Let's see if Justin Fields can throw a couple more interceptions in the end zone, Hail Marys. Maybe if he could end the first and second half of one in this game, too, be the first quarterback to do it 4 times. Second, 2 weeks in a row. I don't know. It's just two bad teams, and they don't have anything to play for. I guess they both want to lose. I mean, from an organizational standpoint, it'd be better if they lose. But I'm going to just go ahead and take the under 44.5. I don't see a lot of points scoring in that game. Who's up next? I go next, too?
Jay.
Okay, Jay.
Me? All right. Well, I'm going to take the Bengals are playing at Pittsburgh, and they are 2-point favorite, and I'm going to lay the 2 points, take the Bengals -2. Another, to me, example here of a team that you have ascending. Yes, Joe Burrow's out, but Browning has played well enough. Pittsburgh does not look like the Pittsburgh of old. They're starting Mason Rudolph this week. The game is in Pittsburgh, so I don't expect it to be a blowout by any means. It seems like these teams play a lot of close games. I think the Bengals win, and so therefore I'll eat the 2 points, and they'll probably win by a field goal. It could be a walk-off at the gun, 2017, 17-14 type of game. No Jamar Chase, so I think T. Higgins is going to bail Jeff out again, like he did last week, and I'll take the Bengals -2.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. If it weren't for me being the last one to put picks in, that would have been my first pick right there.
Yeah, Jeff beat me this week.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna wait on you making the doc. He was gonna go ahead and send them in to you.
Yeah, I like that one too. I thought about that one too. It just goes to show the things the Commanders do. There's no excuses. I mean, let's take a look at the Cleveland Browns. I know this is getting off course a little bit. The Cleveland Browns are on like their third quarterback. Offensive linemen get hurt. Nick Chubb gets hurt. And they're 9-5?
Something like that.
And every single year, there's no excuses. Every single
Flacco
year.
off the street.
Joe Flacco off the street.
Flacco, me against Jay. That was big time right there from him. I appreciate that.
There's no excuses. And the Bengals got Browning playing. Chase missed a couple games ago, right?
Yeah,
he missed a week.
He got injured in game, I think. He might have missed. I can't remember.
Either way, I don't know, but. Teams make up for those things, and then our offensive line can't protect our quarterback. And the Browns, they've lost multiple offensive linemen, but they're still winning. We can't protect our quarterback. We can't beat the Bears, the Giants, and barely beat the Cardinals. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Won't beat the Jets either.
Or the Jets. We're not going to beat
with
the
Aaron
Jets
Rodgers at quarterback.
No, he's not quarterbacking. He's not coming back.
I will say
I told you weeks ago, that man wasn't playing again this year.
Yeah, he died behind that offensive line.
Yeah. Moving on, I'm going to take.
Whoa! I hadn't even made my second pick yet.
Oh. All right, and yours is the most important one because we're going opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Don't you want the consistency or what? I'm going to go with the Seahawks-Titans game, under 42. I don't see many points scored. However, I always seem to get the over-unders wrong, so I don't get why I keep taking an over-under, but I'm taking an over-under because I'm keeping it consistent, and I'm getting you viewers out there more and more money. So, Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, under 42 points. Now, would one of you like to make your third pick?
Well, hold on. I do want to point out that I haven't made my second pick yet either.
Oh,
Right.
I went off
Okay.
course a little bit to discuss my
all right,
issues with the Commanders.
all right.
My second
Go
pick
ahead. My
is
bad.
I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 1 point favorite against Tampa. Um, to be honest with you, I, it's a situation where I'm like, to be sure, the Jaguars can beat the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have been playing well, but the Jaguars are. I mean, what's their record? 9-5, 8
They've
and
lost
6,
3 in
9.
a row.
But they've been struggling.
I think they're
But
8-6,
they're
maybe.
too good of a team. And Tampa's, I just feel like they're not that good. But I mean, uh, what's his face? Quarterback in Tampa,
Baker.
Baker
Baker.
Mayfield's playing out of his mind right now. Um, and then on top of everything, I mean, my guy Trevor might not be playing. We don't know about that either. But that gut feeling tells me the Jaguars are going to come back after that terrible performance against the Ravens and beat Tampa Bay. There's no way Baker can play like that 2 games in a row. And a perfect QBR. That just ain't happening again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got Jacksonville -1.
All right.
Jay, you want to kick us off for the last one?
Sure. So I'm looking at the Cowboys, Dolphins, and you'll hear both sides of the argument here because one of my two co-hosts is taking the opposite. I'm going under 51.5. That's a real big number. There's really one real reason that I'm taking this number under because when I first saw the number, I thought that's probably an over. But then I was looking on Twitter, Kyle by Borgnani, who works with the FF Ballers. Shout out to them. He posted a graphic. So, do you know how many games, Jack? I'll give you an opportunity to guess here. How many games has the NFL had this year where the over/under going in
Oh, it ain't
was
much.
over 50?
It's got to be like 2 games.
No, it's more than that.
It's
It's
more than
11.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, there have been 11
Chargers-
games.
What was
Okay.
Go
that?
ahead, Jack.
No, I'd say the Raiders scored 65 or whatever they scored against the Chargers just last week.
Oh yeah, there you
Well,
go.
yeah, but I'm saying the over/under going in.
Yeah, it's
The
Oh,
over/under
going in.
total.
Oh, I got you.
So the over/under going in. There's only been 11 games with the over/under based over 50, and it's 1 in 10 to the over. The under is 10-1. So I'm just looking at that saying, this number's over 50. We're 10-1 to the under. I'm just going to play the under and just play that that streak. So the analysis is I'm looking at it like it's black 4, and maybe it hits again. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
looking at it's hit a color 6 times in a row. It's gonna go
Yeah.
to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again,
I'm
like we
looking
said a
at-
few weeks ago, is that your pick, or is it that guy from Twitter's pick? We got to know.
Well, he didn't pick the game. He was just pointing out the entire season of over-unders. But we'll see. There is some analysis here. I mean, Dallas got exposed last week with their run defense. Miami has 2 running backs very capable of running. Miami has a good running game to begin with. Who knows if Tyreek will play? So it could easily go the way of a shootout and fly past this number close to halftime and easily go over. But I think Miami's going to attempt to do what Buffalo did.
I apologize. I accidentally pulled some kind of a video up. And I was watching the replay of the Browns Bears Hail Mary at the end of the first half.
Oh, goodness.
Came up there. And
Oh
now
man,
you know
just so
why I'm
happened to come
upset.
up.
the replay assistant said pick.
Yeah, I bet.
I'll give my analysis on this one. And real quick, one more on that one. Do we know they didn't do a replay on that?
That's what I read on the internet. Now,
Yeah, because everything on the internet's true.
As Donald Trump said, that's fake news. This is I
How could
believe
they not
did
overturn it?
do a replay at the half, and there's no reason to come back and announce anything because the play meant nothing. Anyway, moving forward, Cowboys and Dolphins. I'm taking the over.
Just like
And
how
my reasoning
after
is-
the correction.
My reasoning is number one, the Dolphins' running game is crazy, and the Cowboys' run defense. I mean, it was exposed big time last week, and I think the Dolphins are going to run all over them. If Tyreek plays, that's just another weapon, and I think the Dolphins are going to put up a lot. But also, I think the Cowboys. That was not exactly the Dallas offense last week against Buffalo. I don't think Miami's defense is what Buffalo's defense is. And I think that Dallas will put up. Well, first of all, I don't know who's going to win the game, to be honest. So I don't have a feel on the game. That's why I'm going over under. Dallas might win the game 30-27. I think the game is actually going to be close, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of points scored. Dallas has scored a lot of points this year, minus that Buffalo game was terrible. And then Miami, and we know what they can do. They can put points up in a hurry. So that's my whole reason in taking that over in that game. So, and it's a ton of points. So it'll make you nervous, but that'll be my pick for the week, my last pick.
All right, my final pick. I'm going to the Falcons and Colts game. I'm taking the Colts +1. So essentially, it's just picking the game. The Falcons just lost to the Panthers last week. The Panthers are not a good football team. I think they continue on the down spiral this week, and I think +1's kind of disrespectful to the Colts. I think the Colts are a better team than that. I think the Colts take this one.
I like that pick. I looked at that one.
The Falcons got Taylor Heineke going now.
Yeah,
Look out.
Yes, they do.
The Falcons are another coaching issue right there.
Yeah.
The amount of offensive weapons that they've drafted in the last few years. Drake London.
In other words,
Kyle
Bijan
Pitts,
Robinson is who he's talking
of course,
about because of fantasy football.
And the usage and how they use them, I don't understand it.
So here's what's going to happen, Jeff. I'm just going to let you know. My guy Justin Fields is going to be traded from the Bears to Atlanta, and that's going to be a very potent offense with a new head coach next year.
Well, I'm good with it because Bijan's going to be a part of the Chesapeake Redskins next year, and hopefully, so whoever the new coach is that comes in learns how to use that guy because he could be a bust, but he looks talented.
He's not a bust. He's too good.
You look at him, just his physique and the way he runs.
Yeah, he's not
ability to catch the ball. Like, I just can't understand what they're doing with that. And they're in the race in that division to win the division, and then you lose to the Panthers. Like, I don't care what the weather was. There's just no excuse in that. But I mean, that's a fantasy disappointment for me last week that I'm just getting out right now, the Bijan situation. But it's not just last week; it's been all season long. So unless there's a coaching change, I think we're going to get the same thing next year. So
I think there will be a coaching change.
To be sure, there will be, and it better not be Ron Rivera heading over there.
Oh God.
Oh.
All right, well, I think that's going to wrap things up for tonight. Another great one. We had a bit of a long one tonight, around that 40-ish minute mark, I believe, a little over that. But please sure to give us all the follows, as always, on Twitter at TalkUVA Sports, on Facebook at Cavalier Connection. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. We have quite a few views on there at the Cavalier Connection. And follow us on Spotify, the Cavalier Connection podcast. And I think that's about everything. Any final thoughts, guys? Jeff, Dad?
Nope.
Facebook followers is up to like 700. So we're booming over there. Lots of good comments coming in. And follow us everywhere.
And no stat corrections. And let's have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy.
I'm coming for you 2.0 and go Who's.
Go Who's.